Hey guys, welcome back. I guess there wasn't really a point in me going through that door at the end of the last video because the monsters just come back and resetting the game puts you back at the first door. But yeah, we're in the forest temple now. And this is actually probably one of the more confusing temples. Surprised that the game starts you off with this one. The adult temples definitely take a lot longer than all of the dungeons when you're a kid. I guess they're called dungeons when you're a kid, and then when you're an adult, they're called temples. So yeah, it shows you right off the bat what you need to do. It shows all the torches are lit, and there's an elevator here, and then once they're not lit, the elevator's gone. So you have to relight every torch. And basically, once you've done that, the temple is over. But that takes quite a while to do. Those guys that took the torch flame, I guess, they're all mini-bosses, and they're called Poes, but they're really not that difficult. Honestly, the guys you fight in here are probably harder than the Poes are. They do a lot of damage. They have jump slashes like you do. So if they hit you with a jump slash, their attack, just like yours, does double damage. 2 whole hearts. Their shields are pretty annoying to get around. But if you crouch stab in just the right spot, you can still hit them. I actually got really lucky there. They usually take quite a bit longer than that to kill. Oh, it's crazy how many of these pots I have memorized. I knew there was a fairy in one of them, and I was like, is it this one? And I just took a guess, and I was like, oh, it was, okay. Yeah, if they put any tough enemy at all in this game, they immediately gotta throw some healing items at you because they're just super generous with those in this game. They're like, oh, well, we don't want anyone to die. I think those are the hardest hitting enemies we've fought so far. 2 whole hearts with a single hit. And I immediately, once the battle started, got hit by them. I was starting to get a little worried. Oh boy. Block pushing is quite slow in this game when you get used to all of the like ROM hacks and whatnot that use fast block pushing. I think it doubles the speed, so going back to the standard speed, ugh, kind of painful. This isn't really much of a puzzle because, I mean, they put arrows on the floor telling you where to push the block. Kind of weird that they did that. I mean, there's really only one direction you can go anyway. I guess there's 2 directions. You can push or pull it. And, I mean, they should have just let the player figure it out. If they pull it instead of pushing it, they'd run into a dead end, and they'd be like, oh, I guess I'm supposed to pull it then, not push it. And they would figure it out immediately. But yeah, even this one. There's not even a different direction you can go with this one because, you know, there's a wall blocking you right here. And they still felt the need to put arrows on the floor. This little spot is pretty hidden, though, because you can't actually see it until after you've moved the block out of the way. These blocks are just a little bit too tall for Link to be able to climb. But when you push them into just the right spot, they fall down just a little bit. And then you can climb them. Most players probably don't push this one until after they come up here and they get stuck, and then they're like, wait, what do I do? So then they go back down looking around, and then they'll find that ladder down there. I actually still forget it all the time, but very surprisingly, I remembered it this time while I'm talking. Normally, without commentary, and I'm fully focused, I still forget it. Hopefully I have all the keys I need, because, I mean, this corridor is all twisted. Oh, thank you, Navi. Yeah, it feels like I do the dungeon in a slightly... Oh my gosh, Navi. Watch for the shadows of monsters that hang from the ceiling. I feel like I do the dungeon in a slightly different order every time in the randomizer, so I'm just hoping that I'm doing it the correct way here. And considering that I'm missing a key, I probably didn't do it in the right order. These enemies are actually probably one of the more terrifying enemies in this game. They have a very strange rupee drop. Wow. I don't think any other enemy does that, where they can drop 2 different types of rupees in one single drop. So, I honestly don't know what key I'm missing. That's not good. I was hoping this would be more of a walkthrough than a playthrough. There must be a door that I didn't go through that I can already go through. I think I know where to go now, yeah, actually. I think they made it so in Majora's Mask you can't kill those guys with the hook shot unless you hit the backside of them, but in this game, pretty much anything you hit them with other than the sword is going to kill them in a single hit no matter which side you hit them from. I'm so used to not having the Song of Time when I come here, so I didn't even think to go over here, but yeah. Song of Time can get rid of those blocks. It actually sends them to the other timeline that you are not currently in. So if you're an adult and you play that, then that block will now appear in Child Link's time rather than the time you're currently in. Okay, is there treasure chest up here? I forgot. No? Oh man. I'm not doing a very good job here. Okay, I think this leads to the map. So this is the first instance where you're actually unable to kill all of these things. So you actually have to climb up with one of them still on there because the hookshot is unable to reach them. So I guess this would be where you'd learn how to actually get by these things. So you just have to, when it turns purple like that, if you continue moving, it will charge right at you and knock you off. But if you just stop, then it'll leave you alone, and you have to wait for it to stop facing you. That is a very strange enemy to lock a big treasure chest behind. Always found that very odd. Okay. The map isn't very helpful, but honestly, with me forgetting where treasure chests are, apparently, the compass might actually be kind of useful for me. Oh man, I hope I don't need... Wait, no, that wouldn't be possible. Yeah. So there's a song you can get when you're a kid only that lets you summon a scarecrow, which you can hook shot onto. And I believe the only way to get to that Skulltula and that treasure chest is with that scarecrow song, but I do not have that, so I can't get over there. So there's no way that would be the key, because I can't go back to being a kid until I beat this dungeon. The health on those enemies, the giant Deku Babas, is very... Oh, wait. Never mind, I can just hookshot the treasure chest. What am I talking about? But yeah, the health on those Deku Babas, the giant ones in particular, is very strange. Wow, okay, that was useless. Sometimes a jump slash will one-shot them, and sometimes it won't. I don't really understand how their health works, because I feel like I'm always hitting them in their face. Like, so it's not their different body parts have different health amounts. I don't understand how their health works. Okay, so this is the key that I need. And once I get this key, then I can go back to the room I was already in. Ugh, wasting time with backtracking, unfortunately. What? This reticle is a little bit off sometimes. It's supposed to disappear if you're out of reach, and it was very clearly still showing up there. Huh. Usually they get stunned for a little while after you hit them, but yeah, he just kind of ignored that. He almost managed to hit me because he ignored it. This way. I mean, luckily there's not really all that many places to go in here that you actually have access to because everywhere else is locked. So there's not that far of an area you can backtrack in. So even first time playing this, you probably have to backtrack, most likely, but it wouldn't take that long and there wouldn't be that many areas for you to have to go back looking through. I think out of all the dungeons, though, the Forest Temple has my favorite music. Very mysterious and kind of scary, actually. Seems like the kind of place... It kind of reminds me of, like... That was really weird. Kind of reminds me of, like, Silent Hill with all the fog and stuff. Seems like a place you'd end up in the same way by complete accident. You just show up there. So there's one of the Poes right there in that painting. But that Poe is kind of shy. If you get close, it fades away like that. And currently can't do anything to attack it. We need a different item to hit it while it's in the painting like that. Falling through there would be very obnoxious, so hopefully I don't fall in there. It's completely unfair that this enemy is able to just walk over the void. Now we're safe, though. Not from enemies, but can't fall through anymore. Man, he got me again. Man, he got me twice with the jump slash. Also, it seems like no matter what version you play on, there's a giant lag spike every time you kill the first Stalfos guy in this room. I think this is the only room that does that. Also, I don't know if you can tell, but this treasure chest is like floating a little bit for some reason. They didn't place it properly on the ground in this room. But yeah, the lag is probably caused by that pillar that fell down when we beat the first one. So we got the bow now. We actually want to go back into the room we just left, because now we can use this to hit that Poe out of the paintings. Wow, I was actually taking quite a bit of damage. But, like always, they give you plenty of healing items no matter how much damage you take. I think it was this way? Yeah, okay. I believe you get a key for beating the Poe here. This dungeon has a lot of keys. Oh, whoops. If you get too close, then the Poe will run away, so... I'm really surprised it didn't go to a different painting when I did. I got super close right there. Once it's in its final painting, no matter how close you get, it can't run because there's nowhere for it to hide. So yeah, these things are super easy. If you don't know that you can hit them with Deku Nuts when they're invisible, then this fight takes quite a while because they stay invisible for a pretty long time. It's really obnoxious. So long as you know that, though, the fight ends very quickly. I think Aaron from Game Grumps, this is one of the enemies he used as an example in his review for Ocarina of Time, which he hates this game. He was criticizing it for having to wait when you fight enemies like that, and he used the pose as an example. He's like, see, look, you just have to wait for it to become visible again. Well, he was wrong about that. You can just use a Deku Nut and forcibly make it appear, and nobody ever seemed to point that out. So it always really annoyed me that he just got away with that in his review, and he was completely wrong about it. He also showed the Stalfos, which he's like, same thing, you gotta wait for them to attack you before you can hit them. Which is also not true. You can stun them the same way. You can just hit them with a Deku Nut, or you can crouch stab to go around their shield. And he's just not good enough at the game to be criticizing it like that. I mean, he doesn't read directions when he plays games. He's a great comedian, and I love listening to him for that. But when it comes to game reviews, I would never trust his opinion because he doesn't pay attention to the games he plays at all. Because he's focusing on being as funny as possible, which he does a great job at. But yeah, that review, I was not a fan of his review of this game because I just felt like, I mean, it's not that I felt like, he downright put a whole bunch of misinformation in that just because he wasn't paying attention to things that the game taught him. Apparently Navi says this every time. There's definitely things to criticize about this game, but he was basically saying, yeah, no, this is a terrible game, and the only reason people like it is nostalgia, and this... if you deny that, then you're just lying to yourself. That's the kind of review he put out. It's like, no, dude, that is not true at all. But yeah, I love you, Aaron Hansen. Your content is amazing, and just don't review any more Zelda games, please, because I don't like the false things you put out. Opinions are fine, but when you get information completely wrong like that, I don't appreciate it. So I think I have to go quite a ways back to use the bow on something in order to get another key. So you actually are forced to do a tiny bit of backtracking here. If I had remembered to do it, it would have only been like 2 or 3 rooms I'd have to go back, but instead I just had to go back like 5 rooms. Not too sure how often players actually, like new players, remembered that there was an eye switch on their way to the first Poe. If they'd be like, oh, that's right, there was an eye switch there, or if everyone just like didn't even notice it or completely forgot it. The only reason I went back is because I was like, oh, right, the eye switch. But that's just from multiple playthroughs of me remembering it on one playthrough. I am not sure if I would have remembered it or not. Apparently, that hand cannot grab you while you are climbing a ladder. That's good to know. I started climbing the ladder, saw the shadow, was like, oh crap, oh crap. Yeah, if that thing hits you, like lands on top of you, whoops. I was supposed to hit the eye. If it lands on top of you, then it brings you all the way back to the start of the dungeon. I don't think I've ever once had that happen to me in a fair way, because the only time I remember it happening was during a randomizer. I like picked up a Gold Skull Tula token or something, and the randomizer tries to make everything in the game faster. So one of the things it does to make it faster is that it makes it so the game keeps moving while you get Gold Skull Tula tokens, and so that includes enemies, and the enemy was that hand was able to pick me up in the middle of a cutscene of me receiving a Gold Skull Tula token. So that was completely unfair, but I don't think that can happen in the base game. I thought there was an eye switch or something for me to... Oh, no, I need to go back again. Okay, I know where I'm going now. Wow. Yeah, see, this is what I mean. I am used to the randomizers. Usually you just come here after you have like all the keys you need, and then you just go straight through the dungeon. But no, in the base game, you have to play it in a very specific way. So this is actually taking me a lot longer than it would in a randomizer. I do know where to go now, though. It's the exact same room I just came from. I need to hit the I switch yet again. It gives you... It opens up a hole in the floor that you can fall through. So one more time. I think the hole in the... Yeah, I think it's after I change the room. I don't think it's already there. Honestly, don't remember. Hopefully I don't have to come back out here again. At least they give you plenty of arrows in this dungeon, so your chances of running out are pretty much non-existent, because I think the enemies that keep respawning have arrow drops, so there's no chance that you could run out. Yeah, I was supposed to go down here. These guys are so obnoxious to hit. They just run away from you. So we'll be in a room that we were in before, but we're at a part that we couldn't access before. See? That time it survived my jump slash, and then I had to run up and hit it again. I don't understand how the health on that enemy works. Seems like pretty much every enemy in this game has a standard set amount of health, and then that one just... It's completely random. There is a weapon you get later on in a different dungeon that apparently it does 0 damage to Skulltulas, but it still makes the animation of the Skulltulas being hurt. Oh, you have an opportunity to kill this thing before it attacks you, but I timed the jump slash a little bit wrong. You have to run off this little tiny ledge and then use the jump slash in midair, which it's such a tiny ledge, you have to press the B button before you touch the ground, so I mistimed it. And I wasn't able to kill that enemy before it attacked. Still blocked it, no problem. It's just, would have been cooler to kill it faster like that. Oh man, I have to climb this whole place again. The amount of time it must have taken to put together these dungeons is ridiculous. They're so well put together, like everything has to fit into place properly, or else it wouldn't make any sense, and it makes perfect sense, which is just... That's... Yeah, man, I couldn't imagine putting together something as convoluted as this. It does suck that they just basically forced me to have to climb through this entire thing again. Would have been nice if they made it have less backtracking, but it's only within the dungeon, and it just looks a lot worse than it actually was because of how many things I forgot. Although a new player wouldn't really know where to go at all, so honestly, they'd probably have to do even more backtracking than I've been doing. I've never been upset at Zelda dungeons, though. Every time a new Zelda game comes out and I play through the dungeons, they're my favorite part. I always try to not have to look anything up, but I believe in Breath of the Wild. The very first dungeon I went to, I ended up looking up on Google. After like 2 hours of trying to figure out what to do, I was like, okay, now I'm going to look this up, and I always regret it so much. I'm like, why did I do that? I could have figured that out myself. And I did the same thing with like one of the great fairies in Breath of the Wild. I ended up looking it up, and I felt so crappy afterwards. It's like, I just ruined that exploration. And that was the best part of Breath of the Wild, was its exploration. These are really strange enemies. They don't come after you or anything. They just kind of float in place, and they're like, oh, hit me. I dare you. It's like, ah, no, I'll just walk by. Okay. I believe that is the last time I will get stuck in this dungeon because I think we're coming up on the end pretty soon. So I guess they had a pretty good reason for making this the very first temple you go to. It's a bad thing for Link and Zelda, but I guess story-wise, it's a good thing that you come here. It's very good for Ganondorf that you come here first. I was not paying attention. I'm supposed to go through here. Okay. That was close. I almost went the wrong way for a little while. Navi gonna stop us again? Yep. I remembered. Link, watch out. The ceiling is falling down. Interesting mechanic that only gets used once and then never again. There is a treasure chest there. I'm thinking it's got a worthless item in it, but I'm gonna get it just in case. I think it's like a recovery heart. Oh, it's arrows. Okay. Yeah, they really wanted to make sure you do not run out of arrows in this dungeon. You probably need them for this room right here. Oh, man. So, this Poe you have to do a block puzzle for. And, normally this is incredibly easy because of the fast block pushing. I wonder how close the time is when you don't have access to the fast block pushing. It's probably still not really going to be close at all. That bluish block on the left over there is actually just an extra, so you just push it out of the way because you don't want to use it for anything. I don't think you take any damage or anything if you fail the time limit. I believe you just restart and have to do it again. So yeah, even knowing exactly what to do with not a single wasted movement. I only had like 20 seconds left. The Poe sisters at the very least have a lot of health. 3 Master Sword jump slashes is a lot of damage. That means it would take 12 hits with the Kokiri sword. Normal hits. 6 jump slashes, which is pretty crazy. That's like the same as most bosses have. I mean, King Dodongo could only take 2. I mean, he could only take 1 and the second killed him. So this final one definitely takes the longest. If you know what to do, it's still... I mean, it's probably really not that hard to figure it out, honestly. I mean, one of them, as you see, spins. It's like, seeing that, you'd probably immediately be like, why is that one spinning? And your attention would automatically be focused on that one. So I don't think people really struggled too much with this Poe. I'd imagine it's... actually, I think if you run out of arrows, they do something to spawn more. So, yeah, I don't think it's actually possible to run out of arrows here. I think the Poe herself actually drops more arrows for you if you get to 0. Or maybe if you hit one of the wrong ones with, like, your sword or a Deku Nut or something, will then drop arrows. I hope I'm right about that. Would suck to be wrong about that. And then somebody is like, oh, it's okay if I run out of arrows. Somebody else that plays through it after seeing me play it. And they take my advice. And then I'm completely wrong and then they get stuck. So this room is pretty straightforward. You just push in a single direction, and every single time it seems to open one new door, and you go in that new door every time. And then you push in the exact same direction, and eventually you'll get to where you need to go. It does have 2 possible places that the door can be located, though. I guess the worst part about this would be if you go to a door on the opposite side, and then when you come out, you're like, oh, which way was I pushing it? If you forgot, then yeah, that would be pretty obnoxious. I think there's a Skulltula in this room. Yeah, there we go, okay. Did I get all the Skulltulas? Okay, I did. So it actually shows you in the top left of the map up there, a gold Skulltula icon letting you know whether or not you've gotten all the Skulltulas. If you haven't, it won't be there. So yeah, I actually almost forgot which way I was pushing it. I'm pretty sure it's this way, though. I'd imagine if you're not talking to yourself, though, you probably would be able to remember that a lot easier, which way you're going. And now we're on to the first boss as an adult. They make it a very important boss, too. Honestly, probably the most important boss you fight as an adult. In any of the dungeons, anyway. Temples, dungeons, whatever. So you try and leave, because Link's like, there's nothing to do here, and then you get trapped in. Oh, man. Link must have been super shocked here. He's like, what? You already? Looks exactly like him. But the suspense doesn't last for too long, because then the boss title comes up and it says Phantom Ganon. It's like, oh, it's not the real Ganon. Oh, okay. So he comes from a random painting. You just have to hit him with your item. It's pretty much how all the Zelda dungeon temple bosses go. Every boss is weak to the item you got in the temple. I believe he can appear in multiple places. Maybe it's only after you've hit him twice. Now the third time he'll be able to appear in multiple places. Apparently there's a way to recognize which one is the fake and which one's real, but I honestly don't know. I just guess. Then he starts flying around. What does Navi have to say? Phantom Ganon. It's an evil ghost of the Forest Temple. He comes out of one of the pictures. Answer his magic attack with an attack of your own. Man, the way that the... Okay, there we go. The way it flies is really strange. He's like one of the hardest bosses to beat in a single phase. He just gets up so fast. Most bosses... Oh, it's so annoying. Most bosses, they just get stun locked if you spam spin attacks. Oh, wow. I can't believe that got him. Man, 3 times wasn't enough? Zero hits by the actual boss. This is probably one of the bosses I'm most likely to get hit by. So I'm actually pretty happy I didn't get hit there. Hey, kid, you did quite well. It looks like you may be gaining some slight skill. But you have defeated only my phantom. When you fight the real me, it won't be so easy. What a worthless creation that ghost was. I will banish it to the gap between dimensions. So yeah, that first boss, it lets Ganondorf know, oh, Link, he's back, he's got the Master Sword, and he's coming after me now. This whole time, Link's been sealed away, and Ganondorf was under the impression he was sealed away, but fighting this boss is like, oh, he's here. The very first boss as an adult alerts Ganon to your presence. So yeah, not good for the good guys. Good for Ganondorf, though. Luckily, he's so cocky he doesn't even seem to care. Oh, it's Link's only friend. Thank you. Because of you, I could awaken as a sage. I am Saria, the sage of the Forest Temple. Yeah, we kind of knew that. I mean, maybe not the sage part, but we know who you are. I always believed that you would come, and because I know you. No, you don't have to explain it to me. Because it is destiny that you and I can't live in the same world. I will stay here as the forest sage and help you. Now please, take this medallion. Oh, that's gotta be so weird for Link. He's older now, and she's the exact same age. It's gotta be really weird for him. And also probably very depressing. I guess he's probably got more friends in Kokiri Forest, but I mean, she's the only one that remembers him. Saria will always be your friend. Yeah, too bad Link never sees her again since she's a sage. Maybe he sees her again after you beat the game. The way they do Link's screams in all the cutscenes is so weird. It goes on for way too long, both in this scene and the scene with Darunia. Hi there, I'm the Deku Tree Sprout. Because you and Saria broke the curse on the Forest Temple, I can grow and flourish. Thanks a lot. Hey, have you seen your old friends? None of them recognized you with your grown-up body, did they? That's because the Kokiri never grow up. Even after 7 years, they're still kids. You must be wondering why only you have grown up. Well, as you might have already guessed, you are not a Kokiri. You are actually a Hylian. I am happy to finally reveal this secret to you. I guess he retained all of the Great Deku Tree's memories because, yeah, he's about to explain Link's backstory. Some time ago, before the King of Hyrule unified this country, there was a fierce war in our world. One day, to escape from the fires of the war, a Hylian mother and her baby boy entered this forbidden forest. The mother was gravely injured. Her only choice was to entrust the child to the Deku Tree, the guardian spirit of the forest. The Deku Tree could sense that this was a child of destiny whose fate would affect the entire world, so he took him into the forest. After the mother passed away, the baby was raised as a Kokiri, and now, finally, the day of destiny has come. You are a Hylian, and were always bound to leave this forest. And now, you have learned your own destiny, so you know what you must do. That's right, you must save the land of Hyrule. Now, Link, break the curses on all of the temples and return peace to Hyrule. Okay. So, I really like how after you beat the Forest Temple, all of the monsters leave Kokiri Forest. Some of the areas in the future temples, feels like after you beat those temples, things haven't really been restored, but Kokiri Forest at the very least feels like it's back to normal. Still, nobody recognizes Link, even though he's now saved them twice. I mean, the Great Deku Tree. If Link didn't go on there and defeat those parasites, then they probably would have come out of there and attacked all of the Kokiri. I still think you really look like somebody I've seen before, mister. I'm guessing none of the Kokiri knew that Link was a Hylian. The Great Deku Tree probably kept that a secret in an attempt to make Link fit in. Now that the Deku Tree's sprout is growing in the Great Deku Tree's meadow, the forest has returned to normal. Oh. So I guess the Great Deku Tree is what was protecting them? I'm pretty sure it was just because Ganon put them there, though, wasn't it? You're such a big, strong guy. I really want to be like you someday, even though I'll always be small. So, if they never age, like, physically, do they still die of old age? Because, I mean, they're not around in future Zelda games. Like, they've been replaced with different forest spirits. Anyway, what do I do next? I'm trying to think what comes next after this. I think I can go to Goron City. So let's go there. I'm not sure what the intended order is for what the second temple you go to is. I'm thinking it's the Fire Temple. Can I reach the Skulltula from here? Okay, good. Okay, so what I have to do here is sometimes a little bit difficult. Hopefully I get it first try, so I don't have to spend too much time on this. There's a Goron rolling around here all by himself. There's no one else here, and you have to hit him with a bomb to make him stop. Oh, I missed him. Well, didn't get it first try. He's a lot faster than the other Goron. When you're a kid, you have to stop, which I never actually did. I should have done that. There we go. Okay, I got him. How could you do this to me? You're Ganondorf's servant. Hear my name and tremble. I am Link, hero of the Gorons. Really? I thought that's what I was. What? Your name is also Link? Then you must be the legendary Dodongo Buster and hero Link. My dad is Darunia. Do you remember him? Man, you don't look like you're 6 years or younger. Dad named me Link after you because you're so brave. It's a cool name. I really like it. Apparently Goron babies are massive. Link, you're a hero to us Gorons. I'm so glad to meet you. Please give me your autograph. Sign it to my friend, Link of the Gorons. Oh, I guess it's not a good time to ask you for this. Please help everyone. My dad, Darunia, went to the Fire Temple. A dragon is inside. If we don't hurry up, even my dad will be eaten by the dragon. Woohoo! You'd better try to calm him down if you can. Maybe he will calm down if you talk to him? Oh crap, Link doesn't talk though. A long time ago, there was an evil dragon named Volvagia. Hopefully that's the correct pronunciation. Living in this mountain. That dragon was very scary. He ate Gorons. Using a huge hammer, the hero of the Gorons, boom, destroyed it just like that. This is a myth from long ago, but it's true. Then why is it a myth? I know, because my dad is a descendant of the hero. Boo-hoo. About the Gorons. Everybody was taken to the Fire Temple. While my dad was out, Ganondorf's followers came and took them all away. Like monsters or the Gerudo? All of them will be eaten by Volvagia. Dad said that Ganondorf has revived Volvagia. As a warning to those who might oppose him, Ganondorf is going to feed them all to Volvagia. Dad went to the Fire Temple all by himself to try and save everyone. Please help, Link. I'll give you this heat-resistant tunic. No. Oh, that's pretty useful. I could probably beat the entirety of the Fire Temple with how many hearts I have without the tunic, because the time you have is based on how many hearts you have. There's one more thing I should do here first. I should actually get rid of some of these rupees, because I'm getting pretty close to the 500 amount, and once I get to 500, I won't be able to carry anymore. I'll use these to try and save bombs, although they take a very long time to blow up. I could have just shot it with an arrow. I actually kind of forgot about that. Oh man, am I gonna have enough time to make it to the next one? Yeah, okay, I did. Forgot it was so far away. I think this is the last one. Yep, okay. I just completed a small weapon. How about it? How about buying this knife for 200 rupees? You got the giant's knife. Yeah, it's not really a knife to a human. I think... so this sword breaks after you hit enemies or a wall or something a few amount of times. I believe the number of hits you get before it breaks is random. At the very least, it's random in the randomizer. So hopefully it lasts for a little while and doesn't break after the very first hit, because it actually does double the damage of the Master Sword. Which is kind of crazy because I'm pretty sure the Master Sword is intended on being like the best, strongest weapon known throughout the land. And a random Goron just forges a weapon that's even stronger. So this gap is normally too large to cross, but thanks to the hook shot, we can make it. No problem. Oh man, it's Sheik. But how is Sheik here without a fire tunic? I mean, maybe Sheik has like 10 or 15 hearts as well. It is something that grows over time, a true friendship, a feeling in the heart that becomes even stronger over time. The passion of friendship will soon blossom into a righteous power, and through it, you will know which way to go. This song is dedicated to the power of the heart. Listen to the Bolero of Fire. Oh man, I don't know. Is this my favorite song? Maybe. Favorite song you learn throughout the entire game? I was about to say Warp Song, but then I was like, no, it's better than all the other songs too, probably. So, I don't know how to play piano or anything, but I used to just look up YouTube videos and copy which keys I was supposed to press for this song in particular. Link, I'll see you again. Man, a wall of fire this time? Jeez. Oh, wow, Link just stared straight into it that time. Maybe the wall of fire shielded his eyes. So I have 1 minute and 4 seconds. I'm going to see how far I can make it without putting on the fire tunic. But yeah, every time you go through a loading zone, your timer resets. And there's also certain areas in the fire temple, like this one, where it's not too hot. So you don't actually need to have it equipped. Oh, it's Darunia. He's still alive. Who's there? Is that you, Link? Oh, it really is Link. You've grown so big since I last saw you. I want to have a man-to-man talk with you, but now's not the time. Ganondorf is causing trouble on Death Mountain again. He's revived the evil, ancient dragon Volvagia. On top of that, he's going to feed my people to that evil dragon as a warning to other races that might resist him. If that fire-breathing dragon escapes from the mountain, all of Hyrule will become a burning wasteland. I will go on ahead to try to seal up the evil dragon. I'm concerned, though, because I don't have the legendary hammer. But I have no choice. Link, I'm asking you to do this as my sworn brother. While I'm trying to deal with the dragon, please save my people. The prisoners' cells are in the opposite direction. I'm counting on you, Link. Man. So I guess he fought off all of Ganondorf's monsters, and he's the only one that was able to fight them off, and all the other Gorons lost in battle. Also, Darunia, you were like 20 feet away, and you kind of had to come this way to get over to that platform, so did you just not care about this Goron? It's like, oh, he's wasting my time. I'll have to spend an extra 5 seconds to save that one. Are you releasing me? Am I free to go? I'll tell you a secret for saving me. In order to get into the room where Darunia went, he could even hear our conversation. You have to do something about the pillars stuck in the ceiling. Find a path that leads to a room above the ceiling right away. So, that's probably the only Goron I'm really going to talk to, because you're not required to talk to any of them, and that's all they really do is just, they give you hints on what to do, but hopefully this goes better than the Forest Temple, and I actually know where I'm going this time. But yeah, in order to make it so that I can make it through the whole dungeon without the fire tunic, because I'm going to try and do that, I need to get a couple fairies. I probably won't need the fairies all the way up until the boss fight, because the boss fight, this is probably one of the longest boss fights. It might be the longest, actually, which sucks since you're under a time limit. Also, I do not want to use that on pots. Okay, should be 2 fairies here, I think. I'm not sure if they put these here in case some players came in here without a fire tunic, but yeah, that wouldn't really make sense, because in order to open the actual temple, you must have talked to that Goron. Abrupt ending here, because I just ran out of storage space on my hard drive. But yeah, like, subscribe, check out links in the description if you want to support me. See you in the next episode.